Hey gang, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Stud Pack Dream House build. In the last video, we got some great news. Our foundation passed city inspection and we are ready to start framing on this thing. And that is phase one. Remember, the whole plan is to build a 2-story garage here, garage on the bottom, set of stairs over here, and upstairs a full apartment for Jordan. So when this is finished, when we got the certificate of occupancy, he can move from that building into this apartment. Then we'll tear down that house and build a new main house right over there. But before we can start framing, we got a couple of issues we want to handle while we're waiting for the framing package to arrive. Number one, we got Mount Stud Pack right here. This dirt is in our way. It's ruining our slab right here. It's making the whole site muddy. And what'd you do? Plant some corn over here, Jordan? Look at those weeds, man. So we want to get rid of that. We got some prices from some dirt companies. Pretty insane what they want to charge to haul away the dirt, but we get it. So what I think we ought to do, Jordan, let's get some plywood, some spray paint, see if we can get rid of this dirt ourselves. All right guys, now that the sign is up and hopefully it will help us take care of problem number one, let's talk about problem number two. So problem number two is the drainage on this lot, or rather the better thing to say is the lack of drainage. In the earlier videos on this project, we kind of highlighted that this property is the bowl. Remember, this property is like a bowl of water. It's the low spot in this neighborhood. In fact, some of the streets around here are named after bodies of water. They must have looked at this property and then named all the streets. But it's not so big a problem that a proper drainage company can't handle. So we called one out here and they had a bunch of great ideas. So the company that came out here actually specializes in French drains. We talked about the advantages of French drains over catch basins. Something I never really thought about with catch basins, which is what we've kind of always done. They do hold water in the bottom. That can breed mosquitoes, and that's really bad around here. We already have enough sitting water. The other thing we talked about was, where do we send all that water? Now, at the street, on this side of the street, there's a 2-foot diameter storm drain for the city that heads in that direction. So we could tie into there. The other option is to send it to daylight in the back right corner because it's very low. What do I mean by daylight? The pipe just ends because it's so low and the water can flow out, or they also make a little pop-up thing where the water pops up, flows out like that, and after the water drains out, it closes and it's good to go. And then we also talked about the kind of pipe we use to get the water out of here, PVC or slotted. I've always been kind of a PVC fan, like 6-inch. They use 4-inch slotted pipe, just like the French Drain channel right here on YouTube. So I know it's gonna be a good job and it's gonna get the water off the Stud Pack site. And the final thing we talked about was timing. And that's one thing we're all learning about as we build this garage and as we build a house. The scheduling and what works better now and what works better later. So for instance, if they put the French drain in now, it's gonna get destroyed as we build the garage and then as we excavate for the house and pour that slab. So they actually wanna come out after the garage is done, after Jordan's moved out, and after this slab is poured. Because then we'll do our final grading and put a nice French drain right here against the garage, out to the street or out to the backyard, and maybe even possibly one over there, maybe a diagonal one, or maybe even both. But the takeaway was, we got to get this garage built as soon as we can so that this thing doesn't float away, dude. Now remember that big massive sign we put up on that highway thinking we were going to get 100 calls and get this dirt out of here? Well, it didn't work so well. But when the drainage company was out here, they asked us, what are you doing with all that dirt? They're a drainage company. They always need dirt. They said, we'll take it off your hands for a great price, and they're actually on their way right now. And hopefully we can get this out of here today. And just like that, gang, Mount Stud Pack is gone. And it feels great to drive up here in the morning and not see this huge pile of dirt with all the lumber in it and all the weeds growing out of it this tall. It's starting to look like a job site. That guy did an amazing job. Now, we were looking at spending quite a bit of money on having all this dirt hauled out of here. But remember in the previous videos how we were talking about the backyard and how it was really the low spot of the neighborhood? What a better way to use all that dirt than just to spread it out. And you can see how nicely he graded it all the way from fence to fence. We got a little bit more cleanup work to do, but that is great. Now, not only did he do the backyard, he got up here in the front yard, and this is gonna be huge for us as well. Remember, there was a huge pile of dirt right here, but now it's all graded out. And this is gonna work perfect for us because on Thursday, a lumber truck is driving up to our street, to our property, and dropping a big load for the first stage of framing right here. And it works out great because we're under this beautiful oak tree. We might even set up a cut station right here, get about 10 degrees cooler because we're in the shade. We'll see how that's gonna work. But we are all so excited that the dirt is gone. Now, the guy Jordan hired, you saw him on the video, he did an awesome job with the skid steer, but he didn't want to risk chipping the edge here and the edge at the porch and the back of the porch, so he put some dirt here to help prevent that. And then he didn't want to scrape it off with the bucket and risk damaging the slab with the steel bucket. So he asked us, can you guys get a few shovels and get that off of there? We said, man, we are pros with shovels. So that's what we're gonna do. We're all gonna grab shovels, put it in some wheelbarrows, carry it to the front yard where we got some low spots, and hopefully that's the last time you see us digging, gang. Let's get our shovels and get to work. I needed some air in these tires.
All clean.
Woo, all clean, man. Oh, you missed a spot, dude.
Wow.
All right, gang, all the dirt is off the slab and it looks clean. Now, this is a broom finish. This smooth slab cleans up with a broom really nice. Jordan's super excited. He keeps saying, this looks the best it's ever looked, and I think that's gonna be the theme going forward, right?
I mean,
this site is always gonna look better from here out going forward.
in the history of the planet Earth, this is the best that this lot has ever looked. And we just have concrete and some dirt, but everything that we do from here on forward is just gonna be like the ultimate increase in quality for this place. And I could not be more excited right now. There was like 2 weeks where we weren't posting, where we were bored and we were waiting and man, it was boring. But,
I can tell you're really excited because wood shows up in 2 days. That's gonna be epic.
But you know why I'm really excited, Dad? Because we have this beautiful tree right here. If you notice, Brad, if you want to show the people at home, this slab is totally shaded.
In the shade, yeah. And it's after 11 in the morning and we're still almost 100% shade on the slab.
We were out here at like 8 a.m.
Yep.
And it's beautiful temperature. We got a little breeze coming through right now. And this tree is going to provide us shade while we're framing. And then this big boy is going to provide us shade after around late evening. So super blessed that we have these trees here.
So before we lose this shade and the sun gets any higher, there's a couple more things we want to do back here. It has to do with this slab. You see where all this dirt is right here? Well, the water was building up because it had nowhere to go. So we're gonna dig like a little moat right along here, about the width of a shovel. And that's gonna do two things for us. Any water that comes off the slab, and especially this porch, is gonna hit that little trench, head out over there and drain away. Now, obviously this is too high, but when we dig that moat, that's gonna help with the drainage, and we'll take care of this on the final grading of the property, maybe even before then when we tear the house down and we can get some of this dirt out of here.
It's better that it's high anyway, because any water that lands here will go off into the backyard and find a way out instead of going this way onto the concrete slab. Not that it's gonna damage it, but we wanna get water away, so.
Yep, and the other thing it's gonna do for us, we still have the 2x6 form in here. So we're gonna dig this little moat, that little trench. It's gonna get the water out of here, and then we'll be able to get this, this 2x6 form out of here and all the stakes. So before we lose all this nice shade, boys, let's grab our shovels and get to work. All right, guys, we finally got the trench dug. It didn't take that long with 4 guys on the shovels, and that's exactly what we were looking for. But we couldn't fine tune it as much as we wanted because, as you can see, all of our stakes are in the way from the concrete forms. Remember, we got the 2x6 right here. We have a vertical stake and this one at an angle. And these things are pretty long, really hard to get out. It took Rad and I like 2 hours just to do that side, and we couldn't get a lot of them out because some of the concrete that overflowed, like you can see right here, actually went around the stake and they are embedded, making it very difficult to get those things out of here.
So if those things are embedded in concrete, how are we ever going to remove them? Some of those stakes go up to like 3 feet, dude.
Yeah, well, I've had a lot of time to think about this, so I think I have an idea. All right, welcome to my idea, dude. Now, using a car jack to remove stakes is nothing new. I've seen it done plenty of times before. So I've actually had this in the workshop. We picked up a 12-foot chain this morning, bought a couple of hooks. Let's just see if we can put it through there, pull these things out. One of 3 things is gonna happen. They're just gonna pull out of the ground. That's best case. Number 2, the chain's just gonna pull through. Or number 3, they're gonna break. Let's just try one right here in the middle, see how we do. Jordan wanted me to put something down to protect his precious, beautiful slab, but I get that because the wheels on this jack are steel and I wouldn't want to chip this slab. I'm actually gonna go a little bit closer. I wanna get as close as I can. You guys think this is gonna work or what?
I don't know.
Yeah, that nail might pull through. We're gonna see what happens. No, it's just pulling through, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, so it pulled through. Kind of what we were thinking, but not hoping for. So I'm just gonna take 3 wraps around this guy. Go one more. I'm gonna go around and underneath that. See if we can get this one out.
You're not pulling that out with your hands.
No, we're gonna use the jack. Look at that, man. Woo!
Nice.
Nice. Chain this one a little better, a little easier. I should be able to get that out by hand now, right? Let me lower the jack, take the chain off. It takes a while, it takes a minute, right? But at least you're not breaking your back. There we go.
Nice.
All right, about 8 more. Should we come around that way? I like that.
Yeah. Nice and tight.
All right, what do you think, guys?
I like it.
Send it.
Oh, it's lifting the whole thing.
I think if I remove this nail.
Nice. All right, I think that's that one section. I think there's a seam there. Let me lower this. And I think if you and me grab the end rad, we got enough leverage we can pull that thing out of the ground.
Let's do it.
Woo. Oh, easy.
Got this piece.
Woo. Nice, bud.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Ah. What do you think?
Oh, about to crack right here.
All right, we're using the jack to pull up our 2x6 form, but it's starting to break right here because this guy's encased in concrete. We found out on this other side that when this board breaks, you're causing more work for yourself because you're losing all the leverage you worked so hard to get. So we got out the Bosch hammer right here, put a bit on it. We're gonna break this concrete out, see if this 2x6 pop off our form and get it out of here.
Let's go. There you go. Nice.
All right, go ahead, Red. Woo. Last form board out of here.
Good job, guys.
Nice job.
Nice job, guys.
You can use that to frame your floor, Jordan. The one that broke. All right, guys, the slab is all clean, prepped, ready for framing. We had a beautiful trench back here. Jordan hosed this off. So this thing's looking fine. Can't wait to see some framing on here. Now I'm standing way over here in the shade. Jordan's way over there in the shade. That's because it's 95 degrees today. It feels like 107, and I got my little trusty heat gun out. This slab is 125 degrees. So when you're standing right here, you're getting all that heat just reflected right into you. But over here in the shade, 95 degrees, so that's kind of our goal. That's where we want to stand. So we're gonna wrap up this video. If your like button is stuck, get a jack, get a chain, pull it out, smash it for us. Please subscribe, drop a comment, ask a question, and we'll see you on our next video when we finally start framing the Stud Pack Dream House.